Our colleague Brian Williams is back in Kuwait City tonight after a close call in the skies over Iraq. Brian, tell us about what you got yourself into.
Well, in the end, Tom, it did give us a glimpse of the war being fought as few have seen it. We asked the U.S. Army to take us on an air mission with them. They accepted. We knew there was risk involved. We knew we would be flying over Iraq. We discussed it. We weren't cavalier about it. We took off, and that is right about when things started to happen. A jagged hole in the skin of a helicopter, a symbol for the unexpected challenges faced by U.S. soldiers in a war that does not always go according to plan.
We took fire on the way in.
It all started Monday morning, a round trip that's supposed to take 6 hours. Routine, yes, but we're all aware it's over Iraqi airspace, and in war, routine gets thrown out the window. You regard your job as dangerous?
Oh, it's got some danger to it.
Sergeant Clay Sauer of Washington State is with the Bravo 159th Army Aviation Regiment based in Germany, now deployed here in Kuwait. Their job is to move troops and supplies around the battlefield. Today, that means dropping huge sections of a steel bridge near Najaf, some 100 miles south of Baghdad. We're going along for the ride. We are one of 4 Chinook helicopters flying north this morning, third in line. As we head toward the drop point, the Iraqi landscape looks quiet. We can see a convoy of American troop carriers and supply vehicles heading north.
Man, look at all the tanks. That's our guys, right?
Down below, some civilians seemingly happy to see us.
A couple people at 9 o'clock down on the ground. They're not doing anything.
But these soldiers have heard reports of Iraqis in civilian clothes firing on American troops.
What's the weapon status?
Right now, it should still be locked and loaded on safe.
Indeed, just before we're able to make our drop, radio traffic makes clear this routine mission is running into trouble.
We took fire on the way in. We currently are not under fire. I say again, not under fire, but we look for some type of security. Over.
We quickly make our drop and then turn southwest. Suddenly, without knowing why, we learn we've been ordered to land in the desert. On the ground, we learned the Chinook ahead of us was almost blown out of the sky. That hole was made by a rocket-propelled grenade, or RPG, fired from the ground. It punched cleanly through the skin of the ship, but amazingly, it didn't detonate. Though the chopper pilots are too shaken to let us interview them, we learned they were shot at by some of those waving civilians, one of whom emerged from under a tarp on a pickup truck like this one and shot the grenade. We meet a unit from the 3rd Infantry, called in, as it turns out, to protect us from the enemy, which they say doesn't look like the enemy. How would you describe the quality of the Iraqi soldiers you've encountered?
Guys in pickup trucks with mounted machine guns and RPGs. With the M1s and this, rolling into against those guys, it really wasn't a fight. It was more of a mop-up.
Would you call this American-held territory?
Roger. Yeah, they don't like us very much here. We all expected them to not fight, throw a couple rounds downrange and then put their hands up, but that was not the case at all.
The soldiers from the 3rd Infantry tell us they killed about 60 Iraqis the day before. And while they say they're surprised to keep encountering these irregulars, they certainly haven't lost their confidence. Sergeant Hernandez is with the 315 Charlie Company out of Fort Stewart, Georgia.
They're brave. They see a big tank and they want to come at us. Or Bradley, they don't have a chance.
The sky just got totally yellow.
A massive sandstorm grounds us for 2 nights. The infantrymen stand guard the whole time. This morning, the skies finally cleared, and we prepared to move out.
We're going to kick and burn and get the heck out of here.
Yeah, man. Have a safe trip back.
Yeah.
We thank our protectors who prepare to push on toward Baghdad, and we head back to base. Our routine 6-hour mission had turned into 50 hours that were anything but. We should, of course, add one more note about the men doing the real work just a few feet from us. There is no way to overstate the comfort having an armored platoon look over your platoon in 4 helicopters, shoulder to shoulder there in the desert. And as if to underscore that, we heard a short burst of machine gun fire on the way to morning, our first night there. and learned a few hours later that using thermal imaging cameras, they had seen 4 more Iraqis with another rocket-propelled grenade approaching our perimeter. They surmised they saw the cutout figure of the 4 choppers and saw what they thought was an easy target, with all of us, by the way, sleeping inside the bodies of the helicopters. Tom?
Thanks very much, Brian, and welcome back. Good to have you back.